done. The UK can do it, why can't we?
True.
Canada can do it, so can we.
Canada can do it, so can we.
We don't need refunds, we need residents!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't want the money back.
Just follow Canada policies.
Just
My name
create
is
the
Cameron
backlog.
Kamadi.
Any
I'm known
update on
amongst the
aged
Spit
care and
family
disability?
community as the statistician. And I would like to point out that my 46 followers on Twitter include economists, news editors, journalists, politicians, and only one bot. We all love to hate the Wiggles because they stole managed isolation rooms from New Zealanders. Well, the truth is that they actually did not, because during March there were on average 404 vacant rooms per day. Many of you love to hate the Honourable Minister Chris Farfoy. I love him. I tag him more than anyone else in my tweets.
We all tag you.
We don't hate him, we love him too.
He's like a teddy bear.
You can do much more than that.
How much more patience do you want from us?
Okay, I will quickly relate my story, which is relevant because it has common elements to the stories of many others split from their families. Like most countries, New Zealand has a long-standing shortage of teachers, particularly in STEM subjects. My wife, who is also a teacher, and I were enticed to move here through active marketing by this government. There is even a dedicated government website, teachinNewzealand.co.nz.
Really?
Yep.
And to spice up the deal, I was offered a total of $8,000 towards relocation costs. As a specialist mathematics teacher, I quickly received a job offer for a permanent position in October 2019 and did absolutely everything to honor that commitment and arrive on time to start teaching in January 2020. I was told by an immigration advisor that I would never have enough time to have my qualifications assessed, gain occupational registration, and visa approval. I resigned from my job and set about proving her wrong. I did it. As is the norm, my wife and son were due to follow me just a few months later, after wrapping up our affairs at home. The border then closed, and of course their visa applications remain untouched for well over 13 months, and we are stuck in an endless limbo. In recognition of a well-tested labour market shortage of teachers, and in recognition of my verified skills and experience, I was issued a work-to-residence visa and reassurance that my family were on target for a clear pathway to residency. I must also point out that, as is the case for many offshore partners, my wife would easily have been a primary visa applicant due to her similar skills and experience. I cashed out my pension, we sold our house at a loss, liquidated assets, packed up our household effects, rehomed our dogs, and even helped my in-laws to move to a retirement village in preparation for our move. We committed everything. Many split families will have a similar tale. Those of us with children would never have committed to moving here without conducting due diligence and having a reasonable assurance of gaining residence and permanency, so that we can truly become part of the community and contribute positively to New Zealand. Many of us were recruited from abroad, and our employers will be very upset if we are forced to leave. The core function of the Ministry of Immigration is to enable New Zealand employers to access and retain workers across the spectrum of skills shortages. So how do we reunite families and make sure that New Zealand employers retain skills? The answer is to simply make use of the thousands of managed isolation rooms standing empty and already paid for by us, the taxpayers. Despite the recent reduction in operational capacity by 500 rooms, for the 7 days prior to yesterday, there were on average 1,812 vacant rooms per day in managed isolation. By simply using the last 2 weeks worth of empty rooms, more than 1,700 families could have been reunited. Now you might argue that there will be very few rooms available due to the new announcement of students, refugees, construction workers, RSC workers, sheep shearers and plant operators allowed entry. If you crunch the numbers, the truth is that over the next 3 months, assuming that operational capacity is held at 4,000 rooms, less than 2,000 of the more than 25,000 room vouchers will be used by those people.
Oh, they didn't do the math.
How do you reunite families? Just use the empty rooms.
Yeah, simple. It's simple.